Alright, so let's take a look at this game. As I'm certain you are all aware of now, I don't usually go over anything completely unorthodox, and this is not going to be any break from the norm. We see Black, our very young, nicely strong player, opening up without going crazy and playing strange unorthodox moves. Still 3-4 points, everyone knows them. Black has options here. He could say to himself, I want to play a more orthodox opening and just enclose at A. Could approach at B. Yes. You could approach at B, or wait, I don't know what they linked. And I'm not going to click on it while I'm recording, sorry. Let's see, any other choices here? Not really, not really. C is a little bit more unusual. I guess it's playable, but there are a lot more openings that revolve around opening up with B rather than C. So I guess if you're trying to have the most options available to you, you might lean more towards one than the other in this particular instance. As such, no surprise, we see the approach. A little bit aggressive, seeing what White wants to do. Is he going to pincer? Is he going to take territory? Is he going to ignore and play the approach on the upper left-hand corner? We've been seeing that one a lot as well. Black approaching White's 3-4, and White just saying, screw that, I'm going to approach you, and then we're going to do a nice, jolly good fight, and see where that game kind of goes. That's been very, very common. Very, very common indeed. However, White says, forget that, I want territory. We're going to play a nice, calm game. I'm going to get territory, you're going to get influence. All nicely calm. Territory taken. Now we have options for Black. What is one thing that we probably won't see here? Okay, two things we won't see here, but they're pretty much the same thing. Anyone know? You're viewing a professional game. What is one thing you do not expect to see? Indeed! Fishy, congratulations. I like both of those answers. I would not expect to see either the tiger's mouth or the connection here, and I would not expect to see Tegan. You are quite correct. And the reason for that, for those of you who do not know, and for those of you who have not been paying attention to my shorties that I've been putting out, is we usually play a little bit faster when at all possible. Usually we would see an approach on the 4-4 stone if we were going to play here. Sort of a question, how much can I get away with on the bottom being asked for White? Sometimes we'll see an approach at R6 for similar reasons. Black, I am pleased to see, plays none of those and encloses. Again, essentially stating similar idea. If we were to have approached either side, we're saying, you know, it's a little bit too slow to just go back and connect, and you're going to take your territory. I'm going to take a base. You're probably going to approach me, and because I don't want to be attacked, I guess I'm going to respond to that. After which, you're probably going to approach me back, and blah, 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 blah. Nice, solid positions, completely uninteresting. Pro players like Aji. They're good at using it. This certainly leaves Aji. Are you going to cut? Are you going to do nothing? What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? White says I'm going to approach. 2 space, interestingly enough. Okay. Options once more to Black. Completely fine, either one you pick. We could decide, you know what? I really, really want to develop the top of the board. I like the enclosure. I want an extension kind of deal from that enclosure, so I'm going to play at A. Alright, that's cool. Or you can say, you know what, I'm not really all about the extensions. What I'm about is solid points, so I'm going to play at B. Again, both of them are completely fine. You just kind of want to be careful about A. I see a lot of amateurs say to themselves, you know what, why would I play at M17 if I want an enclosure, or no. If I say that word again when I mean a pincer, I'm going to get pissed. Why would I play at M17 if I'm looking for an extension when L17 is optimal? That surely doesn't make any sense, right? Well, black plays here. Question for you. How does this change? How many of you know your Joseki? How does this change things? Because this is very common. I hop in and out of games routinely throughout the week just to kind of get a feel for what other people are playing, and I do see this occasionally. I like to kind of keep tabs on the trends on the various Go servers. Does anyone know why this is a little unusual? I'm hearing crickets. Nobody knows. Oh, Twitch chat. Hello, Cogwheels. I'm glad you're able to catch me streaming. But yes, this is actually very, very important. And to know why it's important, we have to see what's regular. That's one good way to figure out how to take advantage of your opponent doing something weird. Look for the normal variation and then compare. So if we look at the normal variation, we see the attachment here most common when we're pincered, and then he's going to Hane, we're going to Atari. Okay, so far all of this makes sense. Righto. Gonna trade up the corner for some territory. White's gonna excuse me. White's going to turn. We're not going to connect. That's just way too small. Black's gonna try and lean, and here is where the answer lies. Because in this variation, we would never play this way. And the reason for that is quite simple. There are things you are not supposed to be able to get away with if you are, in fact, white. You shouldn't be able to get away with this. Because as we can see here, there's no real good way to kill off the stones. The corner is going to die, right? If we Hane, this is pretty solid. Now let's imagine that stone was one further away. That is suddenly not a solid connection. And it seems that this is something that white can actually get away with. Because this turns into an Atari. So what are you going to do now? Are you going to connect and let that die? Are you going to connect and let that get taken? And have to go back and still capture this? A little bit of a better result here for white. Is able to get away with a little bit too much. A little bit too much. Just a little, just a little. But here, can't get away with anything. There's no opportunity to do anything at all. We have to take this like a loser, and everything's nicely connected, and we're horribly in the middle with an eye that might not even be real. And thus we have our answer. One stone, very important difference. There we go. So let's go back here to the actual game. White says I'm going to back off and take myself a little bit of a base because those are really, really important to do. Black approaches, could do this, but then white usually protects, which forces black to protect, and suddenly we have lost Sente as black here. Right? Because white doesn't need another move, so white can go back and, you know, either take an enclosure, go back and do the cut, or do something else completely. So black says, screw that, I'm not going to go that variation, that gives you Sente, I'm going to approach you first and then see what happens. Cool, cool. White says, I'm not going to pincer you. Could have done, could have pincered. Interesting thing about that, too, is that if we actually pincer black here, black can counter approach, right? And then we might actually still see something similar to this. this lovely little development on the bottom. By white playing here, then that's, you know, not going to work. But by white saying that he's not interested in the right-hand side, black immediately notices that means that he can develop it. So develop it he does. And instantly we see why he approached first. Not only is it Sente, not only is it Sente, where this is not, but it also tells him what his follow-ups can be. It's like, I can develop the right-hand side, so I can use this to develop the right-hand side. As we can see here. Now, most of us would protect our shape. We've heard somewhere that, you know, playing the Hane at the head of 2 and 3 stones kind of important, and or at the very least we want to extend and use the wall, but, you know, black is a young Chinese aggressive player, so he ignores all that and puts pressure on. Alright, I can understand that too. If he gets in a move at K18, that's quite severe. I never would have thought that was pro play. Oh, what, this? This move? Is this a move that you thought was not pro play? I think I first learned about this move from Yi Cheng Ho in one of his games from, oh, what was it? Either late 90s or early 2000s. This has been something that has been around for a very long time. Though it's fallen a little bit out of style for obvious reasons. The whole building up influence thing, not really in style right now. It's all about, you know, crush, kill, destroy, and not large frameworks, or not large amounts of influence so much. It's a lot of dogfighting, and influence games don't tend to do so hot in that kind of arena. Alright, so white says, I see what you're trying to do to my shape. I like my shape. I'm going to maintain my shape. I could go crazy and do something here, but I see that maybe that doesn't really go. That's stupid. There we go. That doesn't really go so well. I could do that and then try and do something here, yada yada yada. But it does mean I'm giving you nice opportunity to completely destroy my base and potentially not let me live locally, which would suck. So, right, we're good, we're as is, and now black has 2 problems, right? This is pretty close to thickness, and there is a little bit of a hole at, okay, label tool, there we go. A little bit of a hole at A, and these 3 stones can still be Hane at the head of 2, or 3 rather. Number threw me off. And so there's Aji. So we can see what he's doing. Black backs off. White says, how you doing? Very true, very true. In Go, you only need to count to 2 if you're trying to become a down-level player. Alright, so white says, how you doing? Black says, I'm doing just fine. I'm going to build me some influence. White says, that's kind of risky to do. Don't mind if I live here, do you? Black says, no, help yourself. White uses Samaji to try to get himself some life. I ruin the SGF tree because I played that completely. Yeah, that was just complete habit. Usually that's how it goes when we're dealing with a 3-4. After this, if this is a 3-4 approach, we would play there, and then we'd play something like this. So yeah, my finger moved faster than my brain did. And thus, the tree is destroyed. Hooray. And alright. Got the connection there. White's shape is not the best, but he's not in danger of dying just yet. No, 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 no. For that to be in danger of dying, we need R6 to be much stronger. So black looks for some strength. Because one thing we wouldn't want to do is do this, right? This is too short-sighted. We can see this kind of play only serves to hurt, you know, all stones involved. So bad news. Bad news. We wouldn't want to do this. Instead, gain strength before trying to do such things. White responds. Black says, how you doing? And now we get into a complicated game, as we would expect from a rather aggressive player. Alright. So white, being Korean, happily takes up the challenge of a fight. Black responds by trying to fix his weaknesses. Gonna connect solid, leave little Logi behind. Black's still trying to fix his shape. Same thing, gonna connect, leave little Logi behind. And now everything is getting a little bit stronger. Can't lean on the bottom two stones to do something there. Black's leaned as much as he could on the bottom white stones to get whatever shape he can there. So now it's up to white to figure out what exactly he's going to do. Sound is always better on Twitch because I am encoding at a much higher quality than I can get away with on KGS. Alright, so now is a question of what are we going to do? Is it me, or at this point in the game, favorable for black? Well, it kind of depends on how this fight turns out, right? Ooh, pushing and cutting is very, very dangerous because of the white has weaknesses as well. So this is one instance where making empty triangles means you are good at this game. Black has to fix. White pushes through. Black says, are you pushing through with everything, or can we have a trade? I'll let that Tetra shape escape if you give me these 3 stones. White says, forget that. It's all escaping. Which means we now have a little bit of a problem with our liberties, which is now fixed. Black has cut points. Okay. Protects to try to kill. Becoming obvious that we're very, very close to life. If we Hane, then R7 is alive. If we Atari, okay, there's that. But we reduce ourselves a liberty. We're down to 3 after the cut. That doesn't bode well. So forget that. We have to protect. And if you can't see that, I'll show that in a second. What I was saying is if we play here, or better yet, maximum aggression in order to try to kill, we play this way, right? This is threatening to kill these stones. These stones are now seriously in trouble. Alright, so we have to protect them. Got it, protected. But now what do you do? Because you're completely cut off. Why P9? P9, P9, P9. Ooh, that one. Going back to there. Instead of O9. O9. Ooh. This does not protect your shape as much as you think. There's still the problem. If we run through generally what happened in the game. Let's see, this, that, and block to kill, I guess, right? No, we were not. No, but now we can't Atari. Wait, I think I missed something in the game. I have the order incorrect. Let me glimpse this again. My bad. I'm sorry. Oh, right. Did that and then that. Gotcha. So if we're going back to this, it would be... What would be different here? We have the 3 liberties instead. So we can go here and play this. That has to be connected now, right? But we can't connect because this gets killed. So if we push through here, we have to back off, and then this just gets connected through. And to make matters worse, there's no good way of... Oh my god, this is getting really bad. What is going on with this shape? Okay, I think we've answered the question. That's why not. Horrible, horrible, horrible shape. So that's why I connect solid. The small grade between good and really bad results. Yeah, totally. Indeed. Alright. So we got through this. Can't kill. Can't do that. Can't do that. Get off that variation. Thank you. Which means white gets to connect up. Alright. It's not too bad, though. It's not too bad. White's pretty strong on the top. White's pretty strong on the right-hand side. The bottom left-hand corner, pretty good. So nothing should be dying of white so far, because he's pretty strong everywhere. He's got good shape, he's connected, he's got corners, yada yada yada. In fact, black has the weak group, as we see here. Black is trying to make a large area in the bottom. White says, I'm not going for that. I see this is not completely a thing yet. I'm going to harass it. Black says, have at it. I don't care. I've lost interest. I'm going to play here. And for those of you who really hate your opponent ignoring you when you connect like that, I hope you know this variation. Nice and solid play. White says, forget your solid play. I'm attacking you. And making certain you cannot use your solidness for anything. You cannot extend, good sir. You are just trying to live. With the exception that maybe there's something over here. We'll have to see about that later on in the game. So for those of you, just real quickly, actually yeah, save there. For those of you who love ignoring the attachment to take your extension as white, because you think you can get this stone in and ruin any hope that your opponent has of actually developing something, well, keep in mind that there's still a lot of influence being developed here by black, so you really can't do anything there, can you? You're still in quite a bit of trouble. So let's not do that. And instead, what we have now is a bit of an issue. Because black has Sente. Only trouble is, when black has Sente, we have questions we have to ask ourselves. Lovely little questions such as, where are the weak groups? And unfortunately, when we ask ourselves that, we can see the weak groups are our own. Black doesn't have them. White does. Or wait, no. I'm really dumb. White doesn't have them. Black does. There we go. I got there eventually. So the question now is, how are we going to defend all of that? Well, black says he's going to defend it by making sure those cutting stones are dead. That's a pretty strong way of defending that. White disagrees and says, these are still under attack. This area is not yours just because you played a 3-space extension and a knight larger than anything I've seen ever before. Black says, yeah, I heard all about what you're trying to do. I'm going to keep you in. Do you see what black is doing here? Why is this move amazing? Why is the move amazing? Who can tell me? Who can tell me? Yep. It's threatening to do two things at once. I mean, is there Aji remaining against black's 3 stones? Yeah, sure. But he's potentially set up to keep that area on the right by himself. Or we can see a move at A and realize, oh my god, he's trying to take half the board for himself in one more move. This is a move that starts to make us sad. It's like, how do we respond to this? Like, okay, we were trying to reduce one area at a time. Let's do this one first. Black resists. Why not? Sente, threatening to kill the right-hand side. Nothing's changed yet. Connects. Alright, same thing. No reason not to respond. Threatening to kill the side. Nothing's changed yet. Indeed, L14 is a move. If you can see it, it means you're probably very good at this game. White says, alright, I'm still going to poke. Trying to get out my stones and put pressure on you. Black says, no, no you are not. Tries to connect. A little bit of a counterattack going on here. Got all of... There are a lot of knights on this board, aren't there? It's kind of been a game of them. But alright, gonna kind of counterattack. Unfortunately, there's a lot of Aji behind. Black says, White says, I have Aji. Threatening to connect up all the things. But there were 2 things that were being accomplished. White's hooking up, but what about their left-hand side? Now he has to reduce that. Okay. We see where this is going. He's trying to accomplish much. White stone. Yeah, black stones. I said it right that time. Black stones here in a little bit of trouble. We can't develop the left-hand side if more of our stones are under attack. So we're going to develop and build at the same time. Alright, group in the center, in trouble. So we're going to attack, make certain that we got the cut or the kill. Either way, we're going to be fine. Unfortunately, that means that what we see here is either going to get cut through or connected up. Group's nicely protected. So the question now, what are we going to do? White says, I'm just going to jump on in, which is all nice and good. Black says, I will use that to build. Go ahead, try to jump in. You are not getting in there from this angle. So, White tries to connect up his stones because he can't let them die. I mean, keep in mind, we're not completely connected here yet. This is definitely not the world's strongest shape in the... I mean, it's just not. It's already pretty much cut off in like one more move. So I had to protect. Protection is a must. But that's Gote, right? That connection is just a connection. It's not threatening. We've ensured it's not threatening because we have played this stone. And if it is Sente, that means this stone wasn't good enough. And we should have defended ourselves some other fashion. So black just turns. White goes for the threat. This is nicely surrounded. Maybe something can happen here. Connects. Now we're looking for some Aji. Let's see, what do we do here? What do we do here? What do we do here? There's a lot of Aji here, it looks like. If we bamboo this off, then what? White connects, and we have to turn, and screw all that, black just takes. It's like, nope. I don't care about those stones. My group is going to be fine. White connects. Black plays Faraji. Because this is not quite alive yet. We can see a stone here and envision white stones all cut off, except in Ko. Black gets his wish. There's potentially a Ko thing happening there, maybe. White's down to 2 liberties. Now this is the kind of Ko that makes me nervous. Because I see that white's built, or black's building up a lot on the left-hand side, and now we're kind of getting in this Ko for the center to see who's living comfortably. I think I missed something. No, I didn't. Did I? No. Yeah. All right. Good. Connects. Keep everything connected. Black retakes. And now we are fighting a Ko. Okay. Have some threats available to us. No reason to worry just yet. Unless I was the one playing it, in which case I might as well just resign. But no, black is not me. He can play a Ko. He is good. He's won his last 12 games professionally. I'm sure he can fight a Ko. So, black says, if you are going to try to cut me off, I will attempt to cut you off. Because your shape still sucks. Now what will you do? That I didn't expect. I thought I was going to see something over here when I was reviewing this game first. Because I thought this was the threat, not anything over here. Oh, it's no secret, Fishy. Of course that's why. Of course I pick games that I'm going to, you know, get something out of. I would never pick a game for you guys that I thought was a waste of my time. Where was I? Ah, yes, that. And then retake. Yeah, got it. At which point, cut. That is a threat, so we take. And retake. And there goes the threat. Which seems really aggressive. It looks like we're kind of getting into a completely separate fight here. And I guess black agrees because he pushes through. It's like, you're not connected, and this is a Ko factory. So we defend, and then black connects, and then white tries to connect up. It's not at all solid. There is a cut point there, which black takes immediately. Now we're kind of cut off in the middle of everywhere. Technically there's still a Ko, but there's no way we can try to fight that Ko because there's a million threats on the board. So okay. White plays there. Black says, I dare you to Ko me now. Connects. Keeps his profit. I do so like that. Goes back to Ko. Black says, I have a factory. White says yes. Yes, you do. But I will fight this anyway. I am stubborn. So alright, there's co-threat and retake. I like this move here. It's like, you know what? I don't care anymore about this co. I'm just gonna see if we can live. It's like, forget the co. There's too much going on the board right now. Such as this group. This group is nowhere near alive just yet. So I'm gonna live, do whatever you want with the co, but show me how you're alive here. White says, fine, I am alive because I'm going to attack you. Alright. Black connects up nicely because we've got Miai, we've got, you know, this and that. So we're all good to go here. Poke out I. Or at least attempt to. Could take the stone at L8, I think it is. No, actually we can't. Because that's an Atari. Yeah, alright, back to co. I threaten to poke out stuff, so we connect. It might go to resign. So yeah, connect. Threaten to kill all the things. White says, you know what? I don't want all the things killed, so I'm going to connect. Takes, because that's definitely a local threat. Okay, need to respond to that. This is the code that never ends. Atari is life, so we're going to connect and go back to co. Alright, that's a threat to break on in there. A lot of Aji both in this area, if we get the extension, so that would be a clean break. Definitely a clean break, so we're going to go and prevent that from coming in. This area is our pride and joy. Okay, I didn't miss anything. Good. Threaten to cut through everything. White says not a chance. Back to co. Cut off. Sorry, no reduction there for you. More threats, pretty large, trying to kill the bottom. That can't be allowed to happen. So many local threats for both sides. So many locals. Threats to hook up, kills the entire bottom. Can't allow that to happen. Again, local threat. Pokes the eye out. Threatens another. White gets to connect, going back to co. Now, this is getting kind of risky. I mean, Black's slowly starting to run into liberty problems. We can clearly see this co is for his entire life. But is he going to win it? Well, okay, that's stupid. I just said that he won his last 12 games. Obviously, if he loses the co, that wouldn't have been true. Ah, well. Alright, so where's White's next threat? Where is White's next threat? White continues with his invasion plans. Like, I'm going to threaten to do things here, unless you respond to me. Black says no. So White connects. Black says I don't want to die. Looks like White's gonna get some shape. But if he's alive here, then what about the bottom? Can the bottom live? Why doesn't White push at L7. L7. That is entirely too small. White right now is doing pretty well. Keep in mind, the push here is pretty powerful. Because white has to drop down, so we have to push again. White has to drop down, so we have to push again. The Hane kills. So that's an issue. We don't have to worry about living here so much as white, theoretically. Black says, where are your eyes? White says, right there. Tries to make certain the whole push that I just mentioned isn't going to work if there is an issue in here. White says, yeah, alright, I've got to defend that. Which allows black to get his shape on the bottom. White gives up black 2 stones. He has decided to live. Alright, that's enough room to live. We can count 2, 4, 5, 6. And still room to grow on. That's more than enough room to live. So the question here is what's going on? Who has what? Is this a close game? We got through the Ko. The bottom left is alive. The bottom is alive. The middle, everything seems to be living quite well. However, there's a large group at a large area A that is still filled with black's territory, it looks like. Has some corner to back it up. What does white have? The bottom. And a little on top. It looks like maybe black is still ahead. Oh, 14, yep. L7, yeah, those are pretty big. Those are pretty big. But we can see that black is clearly leading. So, best shot we have now are these double two-space extensions. White says, I'm going to not play there. There we go. Play the Atari. Right. Gonna try to play here. We're gonna come in. Alright. So white forces black to connect. Goes after shape problems. Maybe we can do some cut and enter trickiness. Black Hane says, stay out of my area. White says, defend. Black laughs. And now, what do we do with white? It looks like that just died. Actually, you are quite correct there, FC and Himiku. Quite correct indeed. This did not work at all. So white resigns. Thus giving black his like 12th win in a row or something. The only person he's lost to recently was what? Park Chung-won? Which, funny enough, was the other game I was going to go over.